We sat down to have a little chat with a channel that is on the other side of the same coin as us, if that makes sense. So we are on the believing side of said coin, and this guy he's a debunker. He's on the other side of the coin. I couldn't be asked for the analogy anymore. Basically, we sat down with the debunker to try and hash out our differences in the mindset of paranormal videos. I think it was a good opportunity for us to be able to sit down and chat with someone who's got a different opinion to us, which we've always tried to promote. If you've got a different opinion to us, that's absolutely fine.
I was intrigued to see somebody else's perspective on the paranormal and the things that we have grown to have such an interest in.
Yeah, and also on our videos and other people's videos who post similar content to us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. And it was really interesting, and it went far better than I ever imagined it would. But what I do want to say is the only reason, so a lot of people have asked us in the past to kind of acknowledge these videos that are being made about us, but our only problem, and the reason we haven't done it up until this point, is because we talk about it a bit more when we get chatting, but we know what kind of backlash you can receive from a channel making a video about you.
Because we've been
on the receiving end, and how harmful it can be to not just the channel but also to the person or people who are running the channel, and
also the supporters of those people.
Yeah, and everyone. You don't get away with it without casualties. So
that's why we've never chosen.
Yeah,
to address
because
this.
if we'd made a video addressing it, and then we could have gone back and forth with these channels for days.
It could get really petty,
and it can get petty, it can get messy, and it can get upsetting for a lot of people, and it's just not fair.
Yeah.
So what we decided to do was we reached out. Well, actually, this guy reached out to us. And we decided to then chat with him off the back of it, and it was a really productive chat, and I'm excited for you guys to see it. Because it's really eye-opening, intriguing, and there's a lot of juicy questions asked on both ends.
What I will say is that, what is
Parrple.
Rob. Oh, yeah, can I say his name?
Yeah.
Oh. What I will say is that Rob has been an extremely honest and extremely humble and very real person. Definitely the sort of person who's, would be welcomed with open arms into our community.
Absolutely.
And ironically, you wouldn't go that far with
somebody that which is really weird.
But I think it's fair to say that we've made a friend for life in Rob. And
Absolutely, and I think, I never thought that I'd be sat here telling you that our first ever collaboration on this channel would be with a debunking channel. Still feels weird to say.
Yeah.
But here we are, and we like to trailblaze things here. So,
so here you go. We're off the debunker on, guys. Fire away.
So to be honest, I was really good because when I found you're both teachers, I knew I had to come in 5 minutes early, because if I wasn't 5 minutes early, I was 5 minutes late, and it was all good.
Yeah.
Oh no,
no detention for you, Rob.
Yeah, no, we are the. And ask anyone on this channel, right? We set up a live stream at 8 o'clock. You can guarantee we'll be there at like 15:15 earliest.
You can guarantee we'll get Apollo to bed on time, and then he'll wake up just as as the live's about to start.
It's always the way. We can never ever make it to anything on time.
Yeah. So shall we introduce everybody to Rob then?
Yeah. How do you want to be known, Rob or
Rob?
Rob? Yes. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
And we'll let the That's fine.
We've obviously got you, but you. Okay. What I'm gonna say is, I like how you went about things, right? So we've obviously had a lot of debunking channels do videos on us.
Yeah.
Do videos in other channels as well. We're not the only ones, but it's that obviously, like we said to you before, like we are always open to stuff like that because we always accept other people's opinions, because we're very aware that this is obviously controversial. It's like glass, like you can't get it right, I don't think, with this.
Yeah, exactly. And also I think we always, from the very beginning, when we were like seeking help to find answers with what we were experiencing, we always knew that there would be people who disagreed and pushed back, but also we wanted to see that we're always kind of open to people's opinions and thoughts and feelings on things, because we can only go off how we feel in that moment.
Yeah.
But there's like so many people that can be looking out or looking in from the outside who would have thoughts and feelings that we might not have considered, that we want to learn and grow from and understand. So we never, unless it's been hurtful, which I think is unnecessary, we actually welcome and we want to see other people's thoughts and opinions. So it's so great, Rob, that you've come on and that you've joined us on our channel, because I think it's important. I think it's important to show all different angles.
And I also think that like the way that you went about it as well, I respect you for it, because, you know, like we say, we've had videos made about us, but people are like, will you acknowledge it? And we want to, as much as we're like, we want to be like, well, you know, respond in a sense. We don't want is for people to take it as we're going to war with the channel, if you know what I mean. No. And then we're like,
that's why we've come together today to have a really big fight, to drop.
So I'm going to leave you in the capable fists.
He's gone for a brew.
I'll just sit on the sideline and
I'll run away, going, "Don't hurt us, Hulk! Don't hurt us!"
There's a reason we call her the Geordie Hulk. But seriously though, like we could have easily made a video, and then, you know, there would have been like back and forths with these channels, and what we've learned is that when people make videos about us, people from that channel come over to us and then they give us grief.
Yeah.
Well, it's more than grief. It's actually, it gets very, very hurtful and very personal, and I feel like what saddens me about that is that, like I say, where we always will welcome opinion and thought and feelings on things. When it gets personal, it's almost like people are they've kind of been like called to war against us, and we aren't the enemy. And I think that's like something that's the point I really want to get across, is that we aren't, and we're just normal human beings.
You know, the same for you.
Yeah.
From our end, you know, if we made a video about you, we would have done the exact same. And people, even though you can say all you want, don't go over to those shows, someone would.
Yeah.
And it might be that one person who feels so strongly about it that they're like, I'm going to find you and I will hurt you, kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, that kind
which
of
is exactly what I've had. You know, I had an email, you know, a series of emails like threatening to kill me, my wife, my kids.
Wow.
So the one thing that I've said, I think said to you, Ben, is I don't want to come on here and say this channel, that channel, this channel, that channel. No. There's a few things I'd like to discuss with you without naming channel, if that's okay.
Yeah.
I completely
at all.
And absolutely.
I must say that one thing that's absolutely pissed me off most is you're so nice, and I was like, I really didn't want to get on with you as much as I have. And like I said to my wife yesterday, I was like, I think I'm going to actually be mates with these.
I hope so.
But that's the thing. It's like, you came to me, I came to our channel, you left a comment, you left it publicly, and I was like,
respect.
I respect that, because what's happened there is you've allowed us a way to verse with you about it. And I mean, there's two ways we could have got about it. I could have been an absolute arsehole to you, or I was like, no, because that's not us. Like, because you came to us with your opinion, and I was like, I respect that. And here's my pushback on that.
And also, Rob, you in a non-offensive way as well. Like, your comment was like,
I suppose you're used to that because I'm very sarcastic with what I do. And you're from the north and you're from the south, so you're both fluent in sarcasm.
Oh, absolutely. Like, that's our bread and butter. That.
Yeah. Like, and I think respect to you for that, and like gratitude to you for that as well, because
I think it could have been a lot easier, or it could have been very easy for you to potentially, you know, sit at a camera and then say X, Y, and Z, you know, oh, they've moved house, it's very convenient that the ghost has followed them, all the rest of it, you know, all that stuff. But what you did is that allowed us to respond to it, and then if you'd gone behind the camera, this would never be happening.
Well,
now,
no.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, the thing was, because like, obviously I made 2 videos on you before, right? And they were very tongue-in-cheek, and the song that I wrote on the way home from the motorway. And I don't rehearse these things. I literally, if they come to me, I write them down and I'll just go with it and see what happens.
But the thing is, there was one video I think you made, which was like, I think you compared us to Really Haunted. It was comparing the titles and the thumbnails or whatever. And I was like, you're not wrong. Like, you because I agreed with what you were saying in that sense. Like, nobody posts a video to YouTube without trying to get attention, right? So we post a video, like, obviously you don't put something like happened in our haunted house, like, and
you want to draw the audience.
I suppose that's the whole point. I respect that, because you know, essentially, have to kind of, you want people to watch. It doesn't matter what it is. We all want people to watch and enjoy what we do, and the only people to do that, the only way to do that now, because we live in a world where nothing's really fresh, nothing's really new.
Absolutely.
So
it's clickbait. You need
yeah,
don't you?
you absolutely do, and I absolutely respect that. The one thing I will say is I think that channel's actually done your channel harm.
Yeah, I think we've had a few people have said this actually. Yeah.
So this is the thing. So like
a mental way to that, because I don't want to sit here and slag off any channel. We discussed don't want to do that, but I can't not be honest to myself and say that I think that I've possibly even been guilty, and I'll apologise openly for that, for prejudging you based on that. I mean, I'm not saying I don't still have my opinions, and I'll still want to ask you just a few random questions. And if you don't answer them, you can tell me to fuck off. But you know, they're not drilling questions. They're just like, I'm genuinely intrigued into some stuff.
Yeah, and I think like, so you know, going back to like the clickbait or like, you know, our videos and stuff, like this is the thing that like it surprises me when people make comments like that, because what we're doing and what other people are doing, like the opposite. So like, for example, us and Debunkers, we're all trying to do the same thing, which is get the views or get the audience attracted, and
then obviously
it's interesting that
it's very common knowledge that views translates into money.
And
like, you know, this isn't our jobs. I absolutely wish it was, but you know, I'm sure you
like YouTube does not pay very well.
No, it doesn't. I mean,
it does.
I mean, I'm lucky. As you know, I'm lucky enough as my full-time job to actually run a YouTube channel, not my own, obviously. It's for a tech company, and that barely sustains itself. And obviously, its CPM is huge compared to anything paranormal. And it's, you know, that barely sustains itself. So I think that's something that people really need to realise.
I mean, that's the thing. So there was actually someone, I can't remember who it was, they just came over to the channel and they're like, I'm very aware that you're making £1,000 per video, and you know, you're clearly not working as teachers. And I'm like, show me money. Where is my paycheck?
But this was because a channel had supposedly claimed that that's what we were doing. So I think to back up their disdain for us, they made some like not allegations, but some like comments and some claims that were really like, just to us, I mean, to people who don't know, they probably would believe it, but to us, we just, like, I thought it was funny. But it's funny because it was so absurd. Like, I would love to make £1,000 a video. We put 3 or 4 videos out a week. I'd love to be on £4,000 a week.
You're telling me?
I would not be in a rented house. No. I would not be going out to work and doing, you know, working all day long and then coming home and working in the evenings, if that was the case.
Just to put things in perspective for your viewers, I recently became monetized, which I never thought would happen.
Congratulations.
My earnings get towards the edge of your seat. £1.41. £1.41.
That's it, isn't it? But that's the thing, isn't it? So I think people just seem to think that because you do this and you're regularly doing it,
you've got an endless stream of money, and that like you don't suffer from problems that everyone else suffers from. When
like we moved house and we had 20 quid for 2 weeks.
And we then had a flood, and we had the house is built wonky. Like, we've got all sorts of problems.
But
you've just got to hope and pray it's not an ancient Indian burial ground, or you're fucked.
No, you know what? Where we're living, it'll probably be something to do with the bloody Vikings invading or something, because that's up in the northeast. It's all about that, isn't it? But no, I'm pretty sure this was just fields for a very long time.
It was some farmer who's probably sold up and made mad stacks.
Well, if it's farmland, then it's owned by the church, and we've just sat here for the first 15 minutes blaspheming, so, you know, it's going well.
I can feel the devil creeping up and reaching out for me.
That's just it. But, like, you know, that's the thing, is like, there's a lot of people will jump on. So if we were to say something, people would take it as gospel, and then if they hear it from somewhere else, they think it's gospel. Whereas, and then, so if we said something, you know, never that we would, but if we were to say something about you, people would take it as gospel and think that you are a person without giving you a chance, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think, unfortunately, when things are said about other channels, it's almost a call to action, and then that's when it becomes dangerous.
And I think people want to be that top, be like, I subscribe to this person, I like this person, so I want to defend them.
You can't blame them.
No, and that's the thing. So that's why we'd never responded publicly to, I mean, we've responded to comments and been like, look, that's not necessarily the case. this is XYZ, and then people are like, I don't believe you, and then they were like, well, that's fine. You don't. This is the internet. You don't have to watch.
Yeah.
You can just click off.
You just go to Pornhub.
Exactly.
It'd probably fix everything, wouldn't it?
And tissue will disappear, but not in the same way. Yeah. Sorry, it's low for you. There's going to be people in your comments going, this moron's disgusted.
No, because I can tell people are going to get on with, like, are going to like you because you've got a similar sense of humour to us.
Absolutely.
And are like followers that are like repeatedly come back and are always in the chat. I've got the same sense of humour.
Yeah, they're going to love it.
So, like, before I came on, I didn't actually say who I was going to have a conversation with, but I wanted to kind of. I've got some very, very like. I don't say strong followers, but very, very lovely followers. Really, really nice. Really, really warm people.
Oh, I love that. And
like, I posted that I was coming to speak to somebody on the other side of the fence, and it was going to be a really, really warm and happy, positive kind of chat. And the response is outstanding. Like,
oh, that's
I'm
wonderful.
so glad about that.
We're like, oh, we can't wait to see. It's really nice to see the other side of things. And I've tried to, and I've emphasised like a niceness that.
Well, that's just it. And I think I said to you in a message was like, people will feed off of how we act within that. Like, we need to set the example for these people. Like, not that they're not exactly children who need the guidance, but it's like, if we come on here and we're having a slinging match, in the comments they're going to have a slinging match. Whereas if we're here, we're having a laugh, people can see that we're getting on, then they're going to be the exact same in the comments. And like,
and I think like I just like want to like emphasize it. We are not the enemy. Like none of us are. We're just different people with different opinions. And actually, that's what makes the world go round. So
it's like dead strange. Like so my next door neighbour, but one. She's one of my biggest fans. She was one of my first subscribers, bless her. And she's always been a fan of yours. Like always. And like when she heard like. Initially, I was like debunking the paranormal. I like sort of looking around. It was like, I'm going to stab you in, you sleepy little shit. And I know Becky's going to be watching this because she actually does know. She does know that I'm going to be speaking to you because like she's dead excited. And she told me, right? So, are the ghosts called Dave and Andy?
Yes,
that's what we've been.
And you were told
that's what we've been led to believe
by a psychic medium.
Yes.
Because that conversation played out in my head with a really angry you. And a really funny Ben. Because So did you like go to like one of these mediums and they were just on the spot?
No. So basically how that came about was we'd been posting on it was TikTok to start with. I think we'd only just started kind of going over to YouTube, because I don't know if you know much about TikTok, but TikTok you obviously only get a minute. Now you get 3 minutes, but you don't get to as much.
I did a dance on there once and fell over, so I just didn't do it again.
I need to see that. Yeah, that is something I want to see. But like, so we ventured over to YouTube to try and explain
more
things a bit more
based on the questions that people on TikTok were asking us.
And then, so one person who had followed us just kind of sent us messages with advice, saying that I'm a psychic. She didn't like force herself upon us.
She just said, I think this is this, and I think this is this, and we'd got to a point.
But did she do the usual? She's like, I can prove I'm a psychic. Do you work with your heads? Do we love?
That's the thing. So like, I was always quite skeptical of psychics, right? So just a bit of a backstory for anyone that doesn't already know. Before like we started posting on YouTube and stuff, I didn't believe in the paranormal. I thought it went no further than like the Conjuring movies. I thought it was all like Hollywood bullshit, and it was just all like just theatricals and fun stuff. And now my opinion's like very, very different. But the so I was on the fence about psychic mediums, and basically we reached out to her and we were like, look, we could do with some advice and some help. Would you be able to? Because we were in the middle of the first lockdown at the time.
To just see. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, so we did it over Zoom because we weren't allowed in anyone's houses at the time. And she was like, look, before we get started, just so you can see what I can do, we'll do personal readings. So we did. I think we recorded parts of it. We didn't, because it got quite personal, so we didn't upload the whole thing. But I was like, all right.
So can I just say at this point, We'd never shared anything about our personal lives.
No.
We'd never.
All of our like personal Facebook, Instagram are all private, so you couldn't access that and see.
And any conversation that had happened between her and us was simply just us going, "Oh, thank you for your advice," or "Okay, thank you for letting us know," or whatever, you know, because obviously you don't know. You just you want the advice, but you don't know if you trust these people, do you? At this point, so.
You grew up very similar to me, and do you know how mediums and psychics are viewed in the church?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, but like, you know, like I say, I'd had a moment where I was stepping away from a time in my life, and it still continues now. I don't like to talk about my religion very often because it really upsets people. But for me, my experiences of the church up until I was mid-teens was something I chose to step away from for reasons that I will not be sharing online. So I guess that left me open to exploring. I didn't explore, but open to people's thoughts and opinions. And really what I was doing at the time when we started sharing things online was trying to find out what the fuck was going on in the house, and like trying to and actually it was like, let's speak to a priest at some point. Like we were getting so many bits of advice, so let's speak to a priest, let's speak to a psychic, let's like speak to somebody who like what's Kieran O'Keefe, parapsychologist, you know, like where we like look for just any other reason for it to
not Derek Acorah though, because he can only find really bad actors from the 1950s.
Or what's that, Sam?
Take it off, Sam. Sam, take it off.
Take it off.
Mary loves dick. Mary loves dick. Best psychic episode ever.
Oh my god,
it's the best thing. But well, that's just it. But we reached out to her and we're like, look, if you're happy to do this, let's give it a go. She was incredibly shy, so she was like, I'll do it, but I don't want to be on camera.
Oh, she was a shy chick. Sorry.
She does.
I like
there's the dad pun.
We went with the shy kick, and
she gave us our private readings, but she was happy for us to record, but she did not want us to be on or show her whatsoever on the video, which was,
we could hear her voice but not her face.
Yeah.
But then
you can't usually hear her face.
No, I guess not. But
it's worth a try.
We had the personal readings, and I've already explained it on a video anyway, but before we had shared it, she was basically going on, she was like, there's something going on with your mother. And I was like, oh. Anyway, there was a relationship breakdown between me and my family because my mum's an alcoholic, and it caused a lot of turmoil, which caused us to kind of step away. And there was no way that anyone could have possibly known that because it was quite raw, and only me and Lainey were aware of it. Yeah. So I was like, oh shit, like this bitch knows shit.
But she just knew things.
Like, it was weird.
It was weird.
Really, I know, like, you hear that all the time, isn't it? Don't you?
It's quite cliche.
The new things that they couldn't have known, but she couldn't have known.
No. But so then I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm happy now to go ahead and, like, you know, share, like, you on YouTube, because the thing is like,
it's a bit of a vetting process.
Yeah, if she was dud and she was just like, told me that I've got a head on my shoulders and I've got 2 legs, I'd be like, all right, well, I'm gonna sign off now. You know what I mean? But anyway,
what I want to say is, like, I'm like really black and white, right? So if I'm not convinced about something, I just, like, if I wasn't convinced by Sam, I would have been like, I'm not fucking putting that out there.
No,
make us look fucking stupid.
As a Northerner, you can obviously. Not you personally, because you come across to me, but some Northerners come across quite aggressive. And I imagine everything that was going on was quite stressful. So you've got a medium in, and you're like, what's going on? What's going on? And she's like, you've got ghosts. And then you're like, oh yeah, what's the names? And she's like, Dave and Andy.
Yeah, well, so the thing with Andy is that Andy is actually a relative of Sam.
Right.
So he was never always there, was he?
No, but so that, like, she came up with Dave, didn't she? Like, to start with.
Yeah. So and then, but it wasn't until So going back to that, so we worked it out. Now we've researched. It's not something we share.
We'll do it today.
Yeah, go on, because we're out of the situation now. We're out of the firing line.
So, sort of out the firing line. We researched what we discovered, And I think this is probably a bit of an Achilles heel for us, because we've purposely not shared a lot of information that we know and we've come to learn about Dave simply because he's got family that are still alive. But
so it was out of respect for them.
Yeah. But we have. I'm anxious talking about this because I feel like people are going to press me for it. But we have spoken with some of Dave's family.
Yeah.
And we have confirmed what we thought about, or what we learned about his death as well, which is really weird. The only thing we can't confirm is exactly that it's definitely him and that's definitely his family, because he's not literally standing in front of us like you are right now going, oh, by the way, that's me, and like they're getting
well, I've got a surprise for you. I'm dead too. No.
You're on the right channel, buddy. I've seen dead people.
You do now.
So that's how that came about, and I mean, off the back of that, like we've become quite good friends with Sam, and you know, she's become quite a part of our like personal lives.
You know, she we'll just message her every so often, and she'll message us, and she'll send us a shit cat meme because she's a crazy cat lady, and we'll love it because we got cats. Yeah. And that's literally like kind of how the relationship is now with her. Yeah, we'll meet up now and then, especially when we were living a bit closer. We'll go meet up and have go meet up for dinner and stuff like that. But and that's like one of the like byproducts of our like what we've done online is that we've met, and like even not physically, but we've met some awesome. It's just been brilliant. So.
Yeah, we've loved it. But that's just it. Like the people that we've got, like, so I spoke to you about it, and the people that follow us. Like, I think it's impossible to say that you love every follower, because that's quite an impossible thing to say. We've got 100,000 people on YouTube, we've got over 800,000 on TikTok. It's impossible to say that you love them, but we've got our regular people, and like, you know, people like the mods on our channel, and you know, the people that come back week in, week out, and we'll just chat with them because we premiere our videos so that we can chat in the comment section. And 9 times out of 10, people don't even watch the videos, and it's like quite lovely to see, because we'll sit back and we'll just see them all chatting with each other, and they're excited. It's like we kind of provide a little hub for people to come together.
Because what happens then is that we'll have people say, do you know
and
what?
It's like-minded people as well. Sorry, Lainey, I know about it, didn't I? But it's like like-minded people, so they're there for the same reason, if that makes sense.
Which I bet you have on your channel, and I bet I reckon that's common with every channel.
Well, I think a lot of the bonding on my channel is people have, especially lately, because I get a lot of emails from people who are really struggling.
Yeah, so do we.
And they're really, really struggling with life. And there's one person that messaged me the other day, and honestly, it was like so overwhelming to read that she doesn't like to comment in the comment section because she suffers with that much social anxiety that she shouldn't leave the house, nothing. And she sent me an email just like say thank you for making her smile, and I think that just makes everything worth it for me. It's not
absolutely.
Like this,
I think, and that's something like irrelevant of the content that you produce. And I think we have this as well, irrelevant of the content that we produce, it's about having somebody that's your escape for a moment, or that's something to look forward to, or who they think, do you know what, that person's sense of humour brings me happiness, or whatever. I think that's really important, like beyond opinions and expectations. And
I think there's enough like doom and gloom in the world, especially at the minute, with everything that's going on, and all the byproducts of everything that's going on. Like, there's enough doom and gloom for people to be like, you know, slinging at each other.
Slinging shit at each other.
Whereas,
we've a fair share of that.
Yeah, and you know, it's like if someone can watch our video and they can enjoy it, and it can provide them with an escape for however long the video is, 20 minutes, half an hour, and they can forget about their like worries for that 20 minutes, half an hour, and they can be engrossed in what they're watching, then I feel like we've done our job.
Yeah.
To a degree.
Yeah.
You know, it's like. And I think it would be safe to say that like our audience, even our audience, and the people that still follow and subscribe are split. So you've got the people who believe, and you've got the people that don't believe but enjoy the entertainment. And
you've got like the conscientious objectors. So we've got like Del Boy is like he's on one of our, and we love it.
Yeah, because
he became one of our mods, and he's always on there now.
He'll just quite happily be like, I don't think that's that, I think that's this, I don't think that's that. And I'm like, dude, like, I love it.
He'll go, actually, you think that might have been like paranormal activity, but it's probably just, there's like a draft in the house and it's done this and this is how, and he'll explain it all. And it's like, Nice one, Del Boy.
Yeah, and it's
actually,
like, well, that's something I
yeah.
never thought. Or he's like, there's like moisture in the air which has caused X, Y, and Z to happen, and then he gets all chemistry shit, and then like,
he loses.
Yeah, so I don't tend to go down that path, because it's a perfect example. There was a channel that did a podcast. You may have seen it, and they mentioned debunkers briefly, and I kind of felt like it was a bit of a shot, because I don't mind people saying they've got something against debunkers, but when people say anybody can do it, I don't necessarily agree with. I think, yes, in some people's rights, everybody can have an opinion and say that's a bit of wind, that's that. What I do is I don't necessarily just debunk. 90% of what I do is just taking the piss and having a laugh.
Yeah.
Because
that's why we like what we watch when we watch your stuff.
It's because I spent that long in pain personally, and like that long going through mental torture and feeling like absolute shit. At one point I jumped off a bridge because I didn't want to live anymore. And like a couple of days after that I was like, not only can I not do this anymore, I don't want anybody else to ever have to feel like this. And from that day, I mean, I've always been a prat, don't get me wrong, but from that day it doesn't matter how shit I feel inside, I will always try to muster the strength to make somebody else smile.
Do you know, I think we have a bit of common ground in that sense then, and I think I know at first hand there's a lot of parallels between you and I hadn't realised until this conversation. So and I'm kind of praise you for talking about that as well, because
which I've never actually spoken about before. So yeah.
Well, kudos to you for doing it, and actually thank you for doing it, because it's not spoken about enough. But
no.
Yeah, we've been in very similar positions actually, and I think we both have, for all we're on different sides of the coin, we both seem to have like the common purpose of trying to bring happiness to others and hope that we can lift each other up in that sense.
Well, that's just it, and I think like kudos to both of you for being open about that, and like, you know,
well, we all need to talk about it more, especially men.
Absolutely, yeah, because still that kind of whole shit streak that's on it, like you're not meant to do this as a man, you know, it's still kind of a poisonous attitude, I think, to have.
Absolutely. It's toxic, isn't it?
It really is. And like, you know, I'm quite an emotional guy. I wear my heart on my sleeve, and sometimes like situations do overwhelm me and do get the best of me. But believe it or not, I hate being the center of attention, which is weird when you've watched my YouTube channel.
But Ben's the same.
But I hate it so much so I had a mental breakdown on my own wedding day. Like I was in tears on my own wedding day. Even though we'd made the whole ceremony very light and jovial, I cut religion out of the ceremony. You know, she walked down the aisle to Jurassic Park. We had Lord of the Rings playing, and we walked out to Star Wars Binary Sunset.
I love this.
And that was just kind of our way of just we had 16 people at the wedding. We got married through COVID.
Oh, bless you. Have we lost sound? Hang on, sorry, we just lost. Sorry, we lost some sound there. Got married through COVID.
Yes, and then we decided to do it with 16 people that we really cared about.
That's beautiful.
That's the best way to do it, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think anyway.
Yeah. But anyway, so back to I went off on a tangent. Went off on a sad tangent.
But what I will say about that is just I don't mind if someone was to take our content and like put their light-hearted spin on it.
Yeah.
Because I love to see how creative other people can be with our content. And you know, likewise with any other content, you know. So if you were to take our content and you were to put a jovial spin on it, and you were to
like putting on a blue screen suit.
Well, exactly.
That
like, you know, that's.
I'm still picking blue bits out my ass crack. But that was that. I think people misunderstand that I am very, very light-hearted and very, very sarcastic. And obviously, I have a lot of American people. I chat from down south with Vale Dean. He's very, very American. He's absolutely wonderful. And I don't actually know if they get my kind of sarcasm a lot at the time.
Yeah, British humour.
Oh, we need to go get any battery can.
Batteries run out. Hang on. Come on, Ben, quick. Check out the baby while you're there.
18 years ago. What's that?
Okay.
What's that? Can you hear music?
Yeah, what was that? Is that you or me? Yeah, there's music. Is it you?
Yeah. Strangely enough, right? I don't know why, but my iPhone's just started playing music on its own.
His iPhone's just started playing music on its own.
What was it? Hold on. It was
Debunk that, man.
It was charged by Elbow.
That's a mint song. Oh, I love Elbow.
Thanks. I've been working out like Benny.
Why is it doing that?
Rob's calling us an arsehole and we
He's
don't
like,
even know.
you fuckers. You
Fuck
fucking
you.
fuckers.
Fuck the pair of you. You're both cunts.
I should sing again. It worked last time. What's going on?
Is it me? Is it me, Jesus? Hello.
Oh, we got you.
Hear you. You've gone mute. I think you've turned your microphone off now.
Oh God. Can
Hello?
you hear us now?
Hello?
Dave, piss off now.
That's so
Okay,
weird.
so now my Google Meets has just changed my headphones to my microphone.
Oh well, do you know what? Was it Google Meet or was it Dave?
Dave on the phone and Andy in the microphone. Oh, I got to do fucking Ant and Dec double act. I'm a poltergeist. Get me out of here! Oh Jesus!
We get to start out
like a roof.
Bake
Yeah. So can I ask your opinion on something? If you don't mind me asking. So going back to like the conversation that guy had on the podcast. So I debunked a channel, and it took some effort. But so the house had an alarm go off. Right now, I found that house alarm file online.
Shut the front door. That's
I
amazing.
brought that house alarm file over and used the video. Now I found the house alarm that went off in 3 separate videos, and the house alarm was recorded in 3 different rooms, but the audio file is identical on each. Right? And the audio file that I downloaded off YouTube by just searching house alarm, and it was the first one that popped up, was an exact match. When I say an exact match, I mean every single peak was to the nearest hertz, identical the same.
Okay.
And I was still told that wasn't enough to be a clear debunk.
Wait, who? What?
So,
I was told by that channel that was a speculative debunk. And now you two are educated people.
Now, in my opinion, when it comes to debunkers, I think you've got to have a certain level of skill, let's say, in my opinion, because you've got to fine-tooth comb through videos to find what you do find. And I think you need to have an element of patience. I think you need to have an element of skill to know what you're looking for. And I think you need to have an element of, like, basically what I'm trying to say is I can respect the graft, okay? Because I feel like you've got to, let's put it this way, I haven't got the patience to do it. Like, I think I've got some severe ADHD.
I think I'm going to shock you in a minute.
So I'd get incredibly bored. I'd be like, I just want to watch the video, but that's just not how I'm wired, if you know what I mean. Like,
That's actually what I do. I just watch the video once.
Oh.
Wow.
I don't come through it. I don't back and forth through it. If I find something at the first time I'm watching it, then I will do something. If I don't, I don't watch them to debunk them. I actually watch them because I want to be convinced.
I love that.
That's a very different answer to what I expected.
Yeah, I don't ever sit and go through. I only go back, put it in my editing software frame by frame. If I see something that warrants that on the first time watching, like I watched a video, an early video from a popular channel, because it was very well put together. Like the fridge door opens, then something moves off the sink. But every time something happened over this 15-minute video, the clock on the fridge stopped because the clock timers beep. And I just noticed that the video was 15 minutes long and the fridge timer only changed by 3 minutes.
See, but this is the thing, like, you've got to, like, is there an element of, like, you look out for those things? Because for me, I'd never pay any mind to a fridge clock or like so for example, in our videos, we've got some EasyViz CCTV cameras that have got like a timestamp in the bottom corner. I'd never really pay much attention to those. I'd just watch to see what's going on. And then once the video's over, I'll be like, either click on the next one, swipe off, whatever.
Some people do think that that's gone wrong. Like, people will watch shorts
TikTok or
and
shorts.
TikToks. Well, the shorts just play
They play it over and over again, yeah.
They'll loop. So people will be like, your timestamp goes forward, so it'll be a 6-second clip. People are like, it goes forwards by 6 seconds, then jumps back by 6 seconds, and it's like, yeah, because the video restarted. Did you not notice everything go back to where it was originally and then fall off again?
My biggest one is usually like, and I'll tell you the story behind this. And so is kitchens are a big alarm bell for me usually.
Okay.
Because I'm gathering you've both seen like the Poltergeist, and you know, every horror film from like the 80s to mid 90s, it all started in a kitchen. Tables being stacked on chairs, you know, chairs being stacked on tables, cupboard doors being opened, and then it kind of transgressed from there, and it all kind of started with kitchens. Now, I mentioned to Ben that I lost my brother earlier on in the year,
right?
And I always had like a very, very open kind of relationship with him. I always said as it was, and literally my last words to him were, "Do me a favor, come back and haunt me, but don't you dare fuck with my kitchen cupboards."
And has he?
No, no, he's just played Elbow on my phone. And I mean, that's usually kind of there are some things that I can watch them. I'm just like, and other kind of things. So you guys now, how long have you been making videos for?
It's coming up to 3 years now, I think.
Is it? Bloody hell.
Yeah.
I was going to say 2, but it must be 3.
But you should know. So if you're making like this video now, so you have got the camera placed in a specific place to capture both of you in the frame. You framed yourself so it's visually pleasing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can generally watch some videos, like some of the bigger channels, which I absolutely, you know, I've just done debunks on some of them, but I also go and say the production value is sensational. And it really is sensational because they pan out exactly the same as Aaron Pelle writes a film. You know,
right.
There's establishing shots in there. You know.
Right, yeah. But do you know what? I feel like YouTube has a part to play with that.
Yes.
Because you want, the more you practice, and you know, every time you do a video, I'm showing off my pajama bottoms now. Sorry, guys.
How heroic.
Sorry.
That's okay. I didn't wear pants for the interview. I'm not standing up. I did.
Now I want to see you stand up to see if you're lying or not.
So we tried to. I don't know if you know, but Apollo's birth was mortifying. It's literally been like life-changing for me, and I guess for Ben. I don't know. I don't want to speak on your behalf, but so we are like the cost of living, our income, we're in a position like so many other people where our money goes on just all our bills and stuff like that, and I feel like I'm jumping the gun. So basically, we'd had a horrific birth with Apollo. It all went utterly tits up. I had to be resuscitated. I was very, very poorly, although I did hide it online for a long time, but I was very, very poorly, and I still don't feel like I've recovered. And off the back of that, we decided that we were going to go. So I took out a loan for £1,000, and I went down. We booked a caravan in Newquay, didn't we? Just this summer, just gone.
Yeah.
And we got into the caravan, and it was a string. It was just horrible,
it was
wasn't
pretty rats.
So there was cigarette butts on the sofas. There were like. It was
one of those.
Filthy,
it wasn't. I mean, we weren't
dirty.
Expecting the Ritz, but
No.
like you expect a standard. Do you know what I mean?
You expect to have something clean, and then. When we were there, there was a debunking video made about us, wasn't there? While we were there,
so,
or just soon after we were there, around about the time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it was a really shitty time in my life where I felt extremely ill. I was really vulnerable.
Yeah.
And then we were hounded online, and things that people were saying, the people were coming and sending me messages and telling me that I was like disgusting, that I deserved to die when that happened with Apollo. Saying that it was obviously not true and how despicable I am for lying about what had happened with Apollo's birth and what had happened to me and what I experienced during like that whole like thing that happened, which was that I effectively had like a near-death experience. And it was so, the things that people were saying and the messages I was getting, and people were saying that my baby deserves to die and that I deserve to die, and that all because a debunking channel made a video about us and then added lies about us, like about our own personal lives and stuff
within it.
And it was the most. I believed them. I believed that I didn't, like, nothing that I had in my life was deserved. I believed that I shouldn't be alive to be raised in Apollo. The whole time that the reason we went on holiday was to escape the house.
Yeah.
Because I was having trauma. The reason we've moved is to escape the house, because I'm dealing with post-traumatic stress. I don't sleep at night. And it was really bad, and I needed to just get away, and I couldn't afford a loan. I was able to get one, and we're paying it off. But that was bad enough. And then this channel, and like I say, it was a call to action, and people were coming for you, they were coming for me. There were times where I would write massive responses to people who were so disgusting and horrible to me, and then I would just delete it all. And I promised myself that no matter what gets said, I mean, if I can be honest with you, I did consider just taking myself away and doing what people had said to do.
Go and kill myself.
But you do
die,
consider that once you've been in that mindset once, it repeats itself.
Yeah,
it absolutely, absolutely. And I'm not going to get emotional about it, because there is a video where I was holding my shit together and I was crying.
Ben, can you grab that woman's hand, please?
But what I'm trying to say is, like, I think the only message I want to get across, like, while we've got this like open forum, and I'm so grateful, is that, like, if any of your people come over and look at our channel, I want people to realise that, like, we're all allowed to have a difference of opinion. We're all allowed to have a strength of opinion that is the opposite, and allow other people to have the other side. And like but also, like, we're still human.
Yeah.
And we're just like, and I would never allow my followers to be unkind to anybody else's fault. If I saw it, I would speak up over them.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's everybody's choice. Like, that would be.
I feel like we have a like we have a responsibility for the people that follow us, if that makes sense. So it's like, if someone was to come hypothetically to you and give you grief, and you were to be like, look, you've got people doing this, I'd absolutely make a video and be like, you need to stop this, or you just, like, because this isn't fair. It doesn't matter who these people are or what they believe, they're allowed it.
Exactly, you know? and that's something that, so, you know, that was just one of a few experiences, but that was the most recent, like, and now I still can't bring myself to look at comments. No, I can just about get on a live chat, but I can't bring it because it's just added to my trauma, so it's almost like meshed in with the trauma.
Do you mind if I actually ask a question? And there's a reason behind this question. Sorry for interrupting. I think it's quite an important question.
Yeah, go for it.
How much did that fuck with you, Ben?
Well, for me, I was still also on the receiving end of.
I mean, like, from what happened to Lainey, and like, how did that affect you? The reason I'm asking this question.
I felt like a duty of care towards Lainey, because for all, like, we both put ourselves out on the internet. Of course, you're not going to put yourself out on the internet. You could be the most wholesome person on the planet. You're still going to get shit. That's just the internet. We understand that. But I felt like a duty. I felt like I just wanted to be like a bubble around her and just shield her from all the shit and just take the brunt of it. I mean, I'd had an experience when I was out in town. This was, what, 4.5, 5 months ago?
Must have been.
It was around that time.
Apollo was very little.
Yeah,
so.
And I was out in town. I was walking down the high street, and some guy literally just walked into my, like, I was walking down the high street, he walked into my path, and he's just stood face to face, and he's like, I don't believe you, I don't like what you post. I'm like, okay, that's I was like, that's absolutely fine. And then he just kept, like, walking towards me, so I'm backing off, because I'm not a very confrontational person. I don't like confrontation. So I was backing off, and he was just walking. And it got to a point where I kind of moved towards, there was like a McDonald's down the bottom of the high street, and I moved towards the McDonald's, which was quite crowded, because I knew if shit was going to go down, like, there'd be CCTV, there'd be people, witnesses, you know, it's like a little alley, I should have explained this, a little alley beside the McDonald's, and that's where it was, and I backed up towards the McDonald's where the windows were. And off the back of that, I came home to Lainey. Anyway, he carried on, he got a bit heated. I was like, look, please leave me alone. He ended up walking off because I didn't rise to it. I think he was looking for a rise, he was looking for a reason for a fight. And I didn't give it to him. And I came home to Lainey, and I was, like, literally trembling. Like, you know when you have the shot of adrenaline, you're like, and I came home to Lainey, she's like, what's happened? And I explained the situation to her. Now, I don't know if this was off the back of he's seen someone's video. I can't speculate that because I don't know. That's not fair for me to say. He could just be going off of his own opinions. And, like, we were like, right, we need to do something about this to prevent this from happening again. Because for up until that point, we were like, you know, this is all real. So from that point onwards, we've never said that it's real. We've always been, if someone says, is this real? We're like, that's for you to decide. Like, you can take whatever side you want. You can view it as real. You can view it as entertainment. You choose. I'm not going to tell you what's what.
Do you know what the annoying thing is that, like, as people started to show more interest in our channel, we discussed it. We've probably had like 5 previous discussions. Should we just say that this is for entertainment purposes? Should we just say that this is for you to make your own decision? And we were like, no, it'll be all right. And stupidly, we should have just done it at the very beginning. Like, we discussed
from the get-go. We should have just been like,
you don't realise the severity of things.
No,
you
never realise what's gonna blow up. So we didn't. At no point did we think we'd have 100,000 subscribers sat down with you. You know, like we find ourselves quite privileged to be in that situation, and I think anyone would be.
Yeah, I feel quite privileged at the moment.
Well, no, what I mean is, like, I didn't mean to come across as big-headed if that did.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That people want to see it.
So big, like literally, if you just get down, if you shuffle down a little bit and get your ego in and everything.
And see my head. That 5 heads suddenly becoming 6, 7 head. You know, we've decided that that's how we're going to go about it now. We're not going to preach that it's real. We're not going to say that it's fake. We're just going to be like, that is for you to choose, and that's where we're going to leave it.
Yeah,
I think that's how we'll just pursue on. And if people want to believe it's entertainment and it's fake, then I'm all for it. And if you want to believe it's real, then I'm also all for it.
So the reason I asked that question was because, so I briefly mentioned in a message that obviously I'd gone through something with my wife. On the 9th of January 2020, I woke up and my wife was convulsing and there was blood everywhere.
Oh God.
And 2 minutes later, she was wiped out. She was gone. I thought she was dead. Sat with that in my arms, not responding, in tears.
Oh my God.
To come back to me. And then she came back around and she was just empty. She knew who I was. She didn't know what her name was.
Yeah.
She became, not like, my wife is 5'1". She's dainty. She's really quiet. But she became somewhat standoffish with everyone at the time and the paramedics.
Yeah.
It was 6 months to get an answer. And the answer to the question they finally gave her was, if you have one more of those seizures in your sleep, you'll probably die.
Fuck me. So how do you then sleep?
I haven't slept a single full night since that.
Yeah.
And I know how that affected her. I know how that affected me. So I just kind of, I suppose it's why I wanted to know how kind of.
Well, that's,
I'm
I
glad you asked,
completely respect that, because so for me, we just had what happened with Lainey's birth and I felt like I was protective of her then. But when it's the internet, you can't protect someone from the internet. It seeps through.
Even if you've got a good firewall.
Exactly.
True story.
No, but like, go back to what you were saying. I think like it's very easy for, you know, I was obviously being cared for quite. So like, when Apollo was born, I had to be sedated for quite a while, and you were left with the baby. And his last recollection was me literally unable to speak and breathe, completely paralysed and suffocating, wasn't it?
Yeah.
With what had happened. So, and he was sent out of the room. But I think it's easy for the mum and the baby to be surrounded with care, but you just kind of got left to it, didn't you? And I think like off the back of that, you know, I was very mindful to be aware of Ben's well-being and say to people, don't forget Ben, and you know, don't, like, please check in on Ben, and you know.
But that's the thing, and like I felt like I'd lost her once, right? And that's genuine. Like you say, like that's how you felt. That's how I felt as well.
Your world's
That
gone
night
in a
that you went
second.
together.
Well, that's it. And then it's like you think back and you're like, all those arguments that we had, were they really worth it? You know.
Anyway,
and then it felt like it was happening again when these people were like sending these messages, and I was just like, I wanted to just like scream "fuck you" to the world, and just like, we were actually contemplating just deleting the channel, weren't we?
Yeah, I was like, because it really affected like my mental well-being, and then like the physiological effect that it had on me. Not to talk all about me, but just to kind of put some context to it, was like I was breastfeeding still at the time. I was really, really proud of myself. The stress it put me under, my milk dried up, so I was no longer able to feed my baby. I was being told that I shouldn't have him and I didn't deserve him and that I should be dead, and all of these things, and Ben's just stood there like trying to prop me up.
Well, that's it. When you have one message, you can pass it off, but when a lot of people are saying it, you start to question. You're like,
we're talking thousands, like hundreds and hundreds of messages, and into the thousands on every direction you look. I didn't want to leave the house. I didn't want to. I was scared that somebody was gonna like apprehend me, like if they did Ben. Like it was, I was fearful all off the back of one person's video, and all off the back of, like I say, that call to action to then be unkind to other people. And like that person always says, look, I'm not, what is it that they say, like, you don't, I'm not telling you to go and do something about it or something.
Yeah.
What is it they say?
I can't remember.
Oh, anyway, they're basically like, there's like a quick disclaimer that just feels very half-hearted and almost like,
it's almost like it's there to tick a box.
let me just put this out there for you all, but don't do anything about it, but let me just show you almost. And it just feels, and so,
but like this,
and there was no like stopping.
No,
there was no.
But the thing with it is we won't, because I'm not gonna like, I would never go to someone and be like, I want you to stop what you're doing, because at the end of the day, that's their bread and butter. Very much like what we post is our bread and butter.
Yeah, like
right?
there were things we could have done. We could have put in a copyright claim on our footage and things like that. But why?
Yeah, I know that other channels have done that now. That are,
yeah. So one of the big comments I get, and I think it's from misunderstanding, people are just like, oh, you know, you're only doing this to ride the coattails of this person. I'm not. This was my escape. This was the only thing I could do. I recorded 20 videos before I uploaded one onto YouTube because I was too nervous to do it. And then all of a sudden, I just needed that explosion. Like before I came onto you, obviously I worked for 16 hours today.
Right.
And you know, I still maintain, I have this energy burst that I have to
say, how are you still going? I'm hanging out with Jaxie right now, and you look fresh as a daisy.
God, can you actually do me a favour? Something that I haven't heard a Northerner say for ages. I'm feeling dead claggy, like.
I actually am feeling dead claggy. I'm proper. I've done a day's work and I'm right sweating. I'm claggy.
Claggy, like.
I'm geek claggy.
Oh, weird, bet.
So what I was saying was, like, the more followers or the more interaction you get, the more you want to give back on your videos.
Yeah.
And so the more you want to make them look sleek and nicely edited, or, you know, like after a while we paid, was it Fiverr, so that channel, that, you know,
website.
And we got a nice little like name card made up and stuff like that, because we wanted to try and make it nice for people to see.
Yeah, well, that's it. But like as well, like we're very much in the same boat as you. Like, so I mentioned it earlier when we were talking about the psychic. Back when we started this channel, back in the early days of 2020, we weren't posting paranormal videos, were we? We were posting just a bit of everything.
So we lived down south and we did loads of like gym stuff. And my sister and brother-in-law wanted us to do. Show them what we did in the gym.
But we actually used YouTube as an escape as well. Like we wanted to, because we had a family breakdown with my family. We were kind of trapped in the town where we were living because finances and stuff. It's not easy to just up and move house. And we just needed that little hobby, especially during COVID. I think everybody needed something to do. Although we were both
that's why I got married. I needed something to do.
Well, there you go. You took the biggest commitment.
Can you have a word with him for us, please? I wouldn't mind that.
But yeah, we just used it as an escape, and I think we still do to this day. Like it's helped to like help us get away from
it's escapism.
So like I was saying earlier, if we can allow someone who watches our video for 20 or 30 minutes to escape from reality, like the time I edit, I use that to escape from my reality. And I sink into my little world of editing, and I do my videos and stuff, and recording this now. Like we're not worried about the bills. We're not worried about if we can heat the house. You know, like
because we're just doing this.
We're just focused on something, and it's like it's a lovely thing to have. And like, you know, other people use the gym or go for a run or go for a walk the dog. You know, whatever. But this was our version of that, and I'm sure, like from the sounds of it, you.
Well, yeah. So I film 3 videos a week for work. And then the product videos and then the reels and whatnot. And then I edit those all week. And then I come home and I'm equally as passionate. I'll just jump on. And like now, if I'm just doing something like an interaction with like the people in the comments, I'll just hit record and I'll just let it run.
Yeah.
I'll cut out the dead bits of air and then I upload it. And I find that's kind of the most warts and all honest thing to do. I've recorded videos where like, you know, someone said, could you watch this and then react to this? And I've done it, forgot to switch my microphone on, but then delete it because I won't go back and re-record it.
Yeah. Right.
Because I find it kind of it's not
as like
genuine.
Holistic then, is it? It's
no,
not
that's what I think is nice about this. Like I think, you know, some people But some people will doubt the genuine nature of this conversation. But honestly, I can honestly say that you pair of shits are wonderful people.
Right back at you. Yeah. But do you know what? People, then that's the thing. I think if people from your end saw this,
and this, I think there might be a similar air of suspicion. But
that's the thing. Like I always, because of what had happened with Lainey and a debunking channel causing that, I bracketed, and wrongfully so, because you're a very nice guy. I bracketed all debunking channels as absolute arseholes, and I was like, so when you left a comment on our video, I was like, I fucking hate you. I don't want to be interacting with you.
Look what you did to us.
Look what you've, like, it wasn't you actually. It was another channel, but
it was like, look what your kind caused. You're kind, and but I was like, but then I took a moment, and I was like, actually, that's not me. That's not who I am. This guy, I can't.
He's reached out to us, which is brave and fair and kind. I think
the best thing I can do is respond in any other way that I would anybody else, and it's not fair because I judged you
based off of
as I did both of you. Yeah. So we're both guilty of it. But look what's happened
there. We go.
Yeah,
exactly. But like, you know, I mean, I think the best thing that could have possibly happened was you reaching out in the way that you did, because it opened up the floor for us to be able to feel like we could respond to you.
Yeah, it's tricky, isn't it? Because like you in other circumstances where we might have responded, or like we've even just like lightly responded to negative comments from off the back of like debunkers, or just people who just don't like our content, you almost enter into this like hide behind the screen bullying, or you open yourself up to it, and something that you realise quite quickly is like, it doesn't matter what you say, it doesn't matter how honest you are, it doesn't matter how much factual evidence you put out to say actually you've got that understanding of me completely wrong. That person has their opinion, and it doesn't matter, they're gonna have it, and they're gonna enjoy calling you out, and they're gonna enjoy that conflict. So is it worth it to affect your own well-being?
No,
it's not. No, and I think it's been so strange, like conversing with Ben this week, because like he's just a wonderful human.
Yeah, he's just, honestly, he is what you see is what you get with Ben, which is lovely. And I think like he can't be any other way, because he couldn't keep it up, I don't think.
Well, I know he couldn't. So it's funny because I picked up my message during a lunch break, and he sent me your message, and he sent a screenshot of it, and he said, I really want to reply, what do you think? And my instant response was, don't bother, like, because I instantly thought this is going to end up really negative, and I just like, I want to do what we're doing online, and I want to just keep it positive and enjoy it. And Ben sent me his reply, and I was like, do you know what, actually, Ben, you're right. If you feel like you want to do that, go for it. Reply, you know, it's either going to come to nothing or it'll come to something, but you know, I think this is just be fair about it. And actually, I'm really glad that he's done that,
because now we're here having a great chat, and I feel like,
you know, I genuinely feel like
you'd be a good friend for us.
Absolutely,
I mean, it's lovely.
Yeah, it is. Because we kind of got that, you know, kindred nature between us all.
Yeah,
he's like really. Just that's kind of right. I think he's just stuffed us up, man.
Yeah, I know.
To the camera.
It's them great joggers, isn't it?
Yes. Many
times. So we as on YouTube, we've like mixed up the content. We've just slung shit at a wall and seen what sticks, right? So we've like tried the whole reaction thing, and we've watched countless ghost videos from mostly on like compilation channels. So it's like they've dug it out from the depths of someone's asshole, and and you watch it and you're like, what the fuck? How did that make it on there?
They always look like they've got so much potential, and we're like,
the build up, and climax.
But at times I find myself like, there's times where I can't.
You can't hide it.
I can't hide it, so I'm just like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
I just watched one about Bigfoot. This guy called Nash, who's got a hat. He looks about 7. He's got a hat, right? And he's a beast hunter, right? 5 minutes to watch this video for, and all they find is the campfire they started from. They then think he's the fucking Bigfoot. They even show that campfire as they're coming soon.
I made a mistake quite early on, didn't I? We watched loads of people were like, you've got to watch The Ghost of Carmel, Maine. You've got to do it. So I made the mistake of watching just one. I didn't do any research. I didn't look at any videos.
It was like a blind react to it. Yeah.
And I thought, perfect, he's made a compilation, I'll go with that.
Yeah.
And there were some things I just wasn't sure about. And I said it, and I was like, I'm not sure. I need to watch a bit more.
Yeah.
Genuinely wanted to just sit because it.
That was actually as far as you went. You didn't say it was fake. You didn't say it was like not legit. You just said, I'm not 100% sure. I need to look more into his channel to see if I like get some context and understand it.
Yeah. So it was something like there was this black thing that looked like it jumped out of a window behind a curtain.
It's exactly like the Will Smith song. Do you remember what was it called? Girls of the world ain't nothing but trouble. All I have was my underpants on to keep me warm. That was the black guy that jumped out the window, wasn't it?
I'm putting that on my playlist now.
That was a tune, that was.
Yeah, but wasn't it? Oh
that
my god,
was.
Oh god, Will Smith, bless him. So yeah, I was just like, that was a cat. What? That was a cat, surely. And then I was like, I don't know. I need to see more. I'm not convinced. And all I meant was, I'm not convinced with what I've seen to be able to have an opinion.
Yeah.
And oh my god,
it was
people
savage.
for me.
It was savage. Like not like death threat levels, but it was like you don't know what you're talking about. You haven't watched Ghost of Carmel, man. You don't
just
get
sit there with makeup on your face, thinking that you're so beautiful, thinking you can have an opinion. And I was like,
whoa.
Well, shit. I'm sorry. Sorry, I wore makeup so I don't look like a fucking potato on YouTube. But that's nothing to do with it. Do you know what I mean? I was like, what the fuck's just happened?
Did you actually see what I got accused of the other day? It was amazing.
No.
So, this guy in America does Randonautica videos. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
So he does Randonautica videos, and he keeps on finding the same phone. Right, the same model of phone he keeps finding. But anyway, so someone came into the comments, and it was my favourite comment. Really, I reacted to it on air, and I had to read it out because it was beautiful. She was like, "Sir, what if I said to you that you're the guy that's planning the telephones?"
It's all your fault.
So I admitted it. Yeah, I fly 4,500 miles every 3 or so weeks just to follow this guy around, plant a phone around, and then run away really quickly
so that you can get home in time to react.
Yeah, just to set up the own videos.
Also, that he's got content.
But it's just But like, I don't take these things. I always leave these comments, and I always read them, and I always let these people know that they're very, very welcome.
Yeah.
I would say
we've done the same. I don't know if you've seen, but we've we haven't done one recently, but we did like reading. I think we just titled it like reading mean comments, right? And it's just people who were having a go, and we just read it.
Funny, though.
That's where I made the Donald Trump joke and got ridiculed for it. But we just read the comments like you do, and we're just like, look, you're entitled to your opinion. Here's my opinion on your opinion.
Or we just laugh about it.
Yeah, or we'll just like joke about it and be like, this is actually quite funny. But I've got a question for you, actually.
Yeah, go ahead.
Now,
it's national average. It's not that small. Don't listen to my wife.
Thank God for that, because I was starting to worry.
Anyway, you had a question.
Yes, I did have a question. So, no, you're fine. So I've seen.
You're fine.
I've seen on a lot of people's channels recently that a certain reaction channel, who has also got a podcast, made a point about debunkers, and you kind of touched on it before. Yeah. And he said reaction channel reacted to a certain paranormal channel, and
he was taking a stab at me. We both claim.
Okay, so
he clearly didn't watch the full video that I made, which was actually quite, again, tongue in cheek. And also, every single comment that anyone that left a negative comment about that person, I personally commented on all 300 comments to say, no, he's not a negative. It's not negative. Don't go over and give him shit. He's a decent guy. He's making a living. This is just one problem that I had.
Yeah.
See, I saw a different person, different debunking channel with the same issue.
Yeah.
And he seemed to have gone a bit further with it, with how he felt towards the situation, and it was quite in depth. And I was like, So from my point of view, now obviously like this is just my point of view. I'm not saying like you can call me out and just say,
no. This is what I think we've got so well.
Yeah, but I think what I think is like, I think that guy reaction channel is just he knows what he knows his niche.
Yes,
he knows that he watches paranormal videos. He knows that he's funny.
Yeah,
he knows
he's absolutely hilarious.
And that's how he makes his living, right? And his audience love it. That's his bread and butter.
But like I saw this person saying that like, you know, that they're in cahoots and they're working together and all the rest of it, and I was kind of like, well, is that a bit in depth, or is that kind of like, is it just that he's like what he's saying? He obviously had a conversation with another
person within the paranormal field, and it opened up his mind, and he was like, let me give this another go. Like, I don't know, from your opinion, do you feel like it was a bit harsh on said reaction channel? It came to me, it came across as a bit harsh, and it was like, well, I just feel like you're kind of coming to that conclusion to suit the narrative almost more.
Well, I think I know that person on about. He's quite new, and he was in my comments. So I've watched that video, and I've actually reached out to him to have a discussion about that, because I disagree. I don't think that person is in cahoots with the other person. I think that's an extreme to go to. I think that person, number one, he's a very smart guy. He's a very clever guy. I'm on about the reactor. He's a very, very clever guy. He's very good at what he does. My only thing was I know he's very good with video and he's very good with photography. So I know he knows his skills around certain things. And earlier on, he was very critical of things.
Do you mean like earlier on in his career?
Earlier on in his like reactions
watching
and
videos.
Stuff like that. It was very critical, which was one of the reasons that I kind of fell in love with the channel, as well as his kind of genuine fear. My only issue, and I'm still a big fan, so it's not so much as an issue. I'm still a very very big. I respect what he does. The guy has worked very hard, and we can't take that away from him. You know,
of course.
Because I believe, you know, he was just like us. He had like an everyday job. He was working his ass off. I don't know if he was did he work in a DIY shop or something like that?
Something like that.
And you know that you saw the joy on his face when he got to go full time on YouTube. You know, and you also saw pain in his face when he was kind of massacred wrongly back then, because there was something that all went on. He was massacred wrongly. So that's why I was very tongue in cheek. Obviously, I opened it up with a little skit pretending to be that person, and that's why I was quite defensive of him in the comments.
Yeah, because I think sometimes like it's easy to like. Oh, I've seen this. It doesn't matter what genre you're in. I've seen this happen in all over the internet. But it's easy to make one comment and not realize how inflammatory it can become. Or it's easy to talk about one subject, and then without knowing, you've just created a situation for yourself that's just like becomes like so huge.
Well, that's the thing. So like we actually were going to do a video with said reactor. It was going to be like for Halloween just gone, and I just pinged him a message on Twitter, like, you know, because I chat with him
not often. Like I don't want to like give the wrong impression that like
we're not like
best friends or whatever.
We know each other.
We know each other because we're in like almost like a colleague level kind of thing.
You know, I'll ping him a message, see how he's doing every now and then when he's like not doing too great or whatever, and like I would anyone else.
No matter who it was.
Yeah, and I mean, he's watched a few of our videos in the past. We found it hilarious, so we were like, right, would you be willing to do a video with us, like reacting to a video together for Halloween? It would be great, you know, it would be fun. And he was like, yeah. And then he released, that was on the same day that he released the video reacting to the certain other paranormal channel. And then he got quite a lot of backlash, not from debunkers, but also from his audience, because they've got a certain opinion of said paranormal channel. And he like basically pinged us a message of us like, look, I'm gonna have to back out. I'm really sorry.
If there's one thing I will say about him, he's a lovely guy.
Which he's
like the most purest human. Like he was just like,
he was like, he was really apologetic. He was like, I'm so sorry. Like, but I completely understood, because he's got essentially a business, and he doesn't want to put any of that in jeopardy, because he's seen us on said debunking channels as well, and
I
completely respected it, and I was like, do you know what? Fair play, you know, I get it.
It would be horrible as well, like imagine if he did that. It would just be himself opening up.
Well, exactly, and I'd feel horrible for opening him up to shit because of.
Well, I think that's one of the big things that I was kind of. I'm quite a protective person in a way, and sometimes I'll go things about things in a very, very roundabout way, and I think again, it's another channel that could do him harm.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
Yeah. And you know, the channel in question, I'm a full of love kind of guy. I really am a full of love kind of guy. You know, I'm a very kind of open, forgiving kind of person. I'm gathering from what we said, like I had a very, very rough upbringing on my mother's side, but even through everything that she would have put us through, I still kind of have that level of forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I don't condone is cruelty. And I think what really kind of boiled my piss was kind of, I'd found out through there was a local newspaper that had reported, and it was all over the Instagram. It was before the channel started to get big that certain like ghost tours had been paid for and arranged before COVID.
Right.
Nobody got a refund. At all. I mean, I've still got all the screenshots of actually the messages, because you deleted them all. If you actually go onto the Instagram page, you'll click on a photo. It actually should have 37 comments, but only 3 are on there. So obviously we all know what that is. And there was a lot of people that didn't get refunded the money, which you can understand if they didn't have the money. But then obviously there was kitchen refurb that took place 2 months later,
right?
Which was which you saw live on YouTube. And there was that kind of level of dishonesty, and that's what I dislike, because
that I think that's fair. That is fair.
Which is why I do call out that channel,
just, isn't it?
Because some things are just a bit too far. Like, I can't speculate. Like, I haven't seen anything. Sorry, I will come back. I have seen one thing that I can't. But we'll come back. So. Yeah. Sorry. So I've seen one thing that I can't explain, but I've not seen anything on YouTube that convinces me of a haunting.
Yeah.
But some people go to extremes to try to push that narrative, and you're just like, it's just a bit too much.
Yeah.
Of your guys' content is consistent content. Whatever it is consistent. It is entertaining. It's like Ben said earlier. Watch it how you want to watch it. Yeah. But you're not claiming to be pulled across the house. You're not claiming that aliens have broken in through your back door. You're not having conversations with an Amazon Echo device. You're not doing these things as such. And I think in some respects, you have to be careful. I'm trying to word this right. We have to be careful because of people's vulnerabilities.
Yes,
I respect exactly what you're saying, and I think
actually that is where that you've just summed up where people can get where kind of like
the grey area is.
Well, not so much the grey area, but the provoke. That's the
that's
point
what I'm looking for,
of provocation, isn't it? That's the point where people can get very angry and very upset if if they view what we share as that in that way. Some people view it as a comfort. Some people view it as like we're just despicable people because they don't want to believe it, or they don't choose not to believe it. And so, and because it's there's so much feeling behind it, isn't there?
Of course, yeah. I mean, you both know firsthand from losing a loved one how provoking that can be.
I think anybody who's loved, not even lost somebody, but anybody who's loves somebody would know that if they lost somebody, they want nothing more. They would give anything just to have a moment with that person again, or be with that person again. And so, and I think if you either on one side or the other, generally, you know, you either are desperately seeking answers, and
then if you don't get it, you can get really upset.
That's remarkable that you just said that, because that actually mirrors the most popular case of this ever. So I'm sure you've heard of Houdini, right?
Yes. Yeah.
This was the exact case with Houdini. Houdini lost his mother.
Right.
Was very, very close to her, lost his mother, and all he wanted to do was speak to his mother one more time in the afterlife. So he went to psychics and mediums. And he actually, it sounds like a soap opera, but he actually had a huge falling out with Arthur Conan Doyle's wife, who was an operatic medium who he caught faking the spirit bells.
Right.
So there's a whole, actually believe it was Adrian Brody that made the film called Houdini.
Right.
But there is a whole film, there's a documentary all about the whole thing, and it's so fascinating to watch. And it mirrors exactly what you say. It's that kind of reaching pain that we all
I think and it's very individual. Each person who comes to our channel comes with their own personal purpose. And I'm sure the same with your channel as well. And I think we try and be very mindful of that, and try and be very
respectful of it,
aware of it as well.
I don't know if you've ever sat in on a live stream. I don't know why you would. Though, I don't know why people sit in on our live streams, but we end up getting on it becomes therapy sessions, doesn't it? Where people will talk to us about their lost loved ones, or why they came to our channel, or why they went to other paranormal channels or whatever, and we share our experiences, and then people can relate, and we can work but we can bounce off each other and be like, this is, have you tried this, or have you tried this, or this is a coping mechanism that we found, or and it's I feel like we are very much a paranormal channel. I feel like there's a lot more to us and on our channel than what we've got to
spend time on our channel and to really get the idea of that. And I think that's when people just come in, look at something, leave a shitty comment and fuck off again. That's where it gets a bit tricky, and that's where we've got to be fair and understanding.
Absolutely.
Well, they clearly haven't seen the full picture. They've obviously not seen when we've said that we can't
expect someone to sit through hundreds of hours of footage to get the one answer that they're looking for.
Exactly.
We don't expect people to do that. And I think that's just the way of the internet, isn't it? There is no. It's
very face value. What you see is what, and then you paint a picture within that 30-second video, or that, I don't know, that
however long
quick Instagram post or something.
Well, that's it. Yeah. So there is one. There's I think there's one thing that I think it does come back to who's the channel? I feel like I can name this channel because it's for a positive reason. Who was it?
TikTok. There's been videos where I've been like, how did that?
No, I've misread. So for me, there was one person on YouTube who actually kind of predated all channels. Really, he was kind of one of the first people to do it, and it was the first time where I was like, "Damn it!" Because he ended up coming out afterwards and being like, "This is how I see my videos."
Was it Mellow?
Yes. Yeah. And I was like, yeah. How the fuck did you manage? There was one where
I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
There was chairs.
Michael D. McGee did the same.
Did he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Shut up.
He's actually a magician. He went off to become a magician. It's fantastic.
That's amazing. Wow. But I think Mellowbird, it was the glass on the Ouija board that shattered, and I was like, there is no way that someone can recreate that. And then
how could that be?
I mean, to this day, I still don't know how he did it.
He did it with a pellet gun. He did actually explain how he did it. It was a pellet gun to shatter the glass, which was remarkable. Somebody else shot glass with a pellet gun.
Fuck me, he's got nerves of steel. What if it hit him in the hand? Because he's going he's like this with it, isn't he? He's like...
He just literally taps it, but it's just perfect timing.
Perfect, it's amazing.
But that was the first time where I was like, that's unbelievable footage. But then obviously he came out afterwards and he just said like, yeah, it's not all real.
Yeah. Oh, well, I didn't know he'd come out and said it wasn't real.
No, not many people do actually. Not many, like there's a lot of people to this day who.
There's a few people that are obviously out in the open, and if you actually like, so for instance, Tim Morozov at the beginning of videos, if you translate the Russian, it actually just tells you it's completely. But you can also, if you Google Tim Morozov, he's a filmmaker. That's what he does.
Wow.
But he's brilliant at what he does as well, and you know he's remarkable. But the one thing for me,
what was yours?
And the Enfield haunting case.
Yeah.
That little girl speaking.
You're right. Oh my god,
Absolutely.
Yes, you're right.
She spoke a different language with a deep.
No, she was like, so she was like a 12-year-old girl, and she spoke in purebred English, just like a 90-year-old man. She was like, get out of my fucking house, and I was like, it makes your blood run cold.
But there's also that other case of the haunting or the possession, where there's the raw footage of the girl. I think it was a who are the ones from The Conjuring? Ed and Lorraine Warren case, where the girl. She was like, again, a 12-year-old girl, but she only spoke English. She was in America, only spoke English, but she spoke fluent Portuguese. She'd never learned a Portuguese in her life.
Perhaps she had FAS. Have you heard of FAS?
No.
FAS is amazing. Foreign accent syndrome.
Yeah.
So there was the lady that lost her title from Barker. She was a lady of the manor, and she woke up a Geordie. She just woke up and she was a fluent. I remember her being on. It was on like GMTV, was it? Is it GMTV? And she just ended her interview and she was like, "It just happened to us." But it's like it's a really, really common thing apparently. Like
I've heard of a woman. She sounds like she's like French or something, and she was born and she'd had like a bump to her head or some sort of brain injury.
Yeah, it's a calcification on the brain.
Wow,
that's unreal. Right, well, that just throws that one out the window.
There are things I can't think of any off the top of my head. I'm so annoyed, but there's some things I'm like, whoa.
But like I say, going back to before, when you said like, are there any videos where you think it's utter bollocks? Like we watch videos and there's ones where I'm like, if they faked that, that's incredible. Like, but it's to the point where you're like, I don't know how they could have possibly done that. So then, I mean, I'm the kind of person that would just take a video at face value. I am an internet moron.
No, but
everything I could be told that like I could be told that I've got 5 days left to live by some random person that doesn't even know me, and I would believe them. I'd be like,
but it was like I said to you the other day. I was that gullible as a kid and scared of everything. I think I mentioned this to you, like when we had the earthquake.
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
So my honest thoughts were when we had the earthquake, I screamed at the top of my voice, "Dad, poltergeists!"
Because
that was my
straight to poltergeists.
I went straight to poltergeists. You know, 9/11 didn't happen too long before it, and I went straight to poltergeists because that was my kind of innocence of being shit scared of everything.
But I was the same, and I think, like I say, I thought even I was afraid of a lot, and it gave me anxiety, and I wonder if a lot of that is where my anxiety disorder is like built from. But I would just even like I'd be scared to do anything wrong in case I went to hell. I'd be scared to say anything wrong in case I saw the devil in the mirror, and or like, you know, I would just, even my thoughts, I'd be scared about having like thoughts that were like bad about people in case like I went to hell and stuff. But yeah, you know, it's that like as a child you just have that fear, don't you?
Yeah.
And you just think you take everything so literally.
But that's the thing, like, but I mean that's kind of it, like, really, isn't it? Like, you watch some stuff and you're like, absolutely. You watch some stuff and you're like, absolutely not.
Yeah,
I mean,
like I will just say though, I'll be like, it's just someone stood there. Or I'll be like, oh, it's funny how that's out of shot, you know, or something like that. And then I think someone's coming for me. I go, Ben, cut that bit out. And you'll see, like, I'll pause. You won't see, but I'll pause the recording and I'll say to the camera, Ben, cut that bit out, even though he sat there. Because it's something that
it reminds me.
Someone's going to have a go at me for saying that because they'll believe
that's it. Yeah,
they'll disagree with me or whatever.
Censoring myself.
Let's be honest, we're both going to get some shit for this because, you know, as there'll be 1% from either side that thinks that one of us is the devil. And I'm not making any accusations, but you know, somebody's made a deal with the devil for those trousers.
have we got 100,000 followers, Ben?
Can't confirm or deny. You have to take it at face value, remember. Everything we do, take it at face value.
Head on over to the Lainey and Ben OnlyFans. Ben, that's a great idea, maybe. Right, we should cut away, have a fight, 6 months' time, YouTube boxing match.
Yeah, there we go.
You versus my wife.
Just start some Twitter beef, right?
You versus my wife.
Yeah, let's start some beef.
Should we start a Twitter spat?
It's that thing, right, where you have to put that thing coming up at the bottom of the video. Right, what we should do 30 seconds right now. It looks like we're having an argument, and then put it at the bottom. Like, you're a dick.
Can't believe
and I'm not coming back.
Say that.
You've
got a nerve.
Yeah, you should be like, I think your cat content's fake, and then I'll be like, well, I think you're an arsehole, and then you're like, well, I think you're an arsehole.
No, I have an arsehole, and I know I'm an arsehole.
I know my arsehole's bigger than your arsehole, but you don't need to tell me about it.
Oh God.
My God, right. Shall we wrap it up there or what?
Well, we've managed to talk for 2 hours.
Shit! Bloody hell, we have as well. Oh my God, I thought it was about an hour.
And do you know what? I'm really happy that I actually got to speak to you both. And I really, honestly, I genuinely mean it from the bottom of my heart. I hope we can stay in touch. I really do.
I want to, like, Rob, it would be, like I said to you, man, like, I think it would be incredible to, as yourself as a debunker and me as someone who sees it from the other side of the coin, like, imagine reaction videos or like watching ghost videos where we are both two sides, like me and Lainey being like one side being like the believer and then you being the skeptic and then we bounce off each other.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's like
Lainey, you see this, he's propositioning me here. You've leant back and we could just bounce off each other.
I was like, that sounds like I could have a bath and boots actually.
So Rob, how does that sound to you?
Fantastic.
Rob and Ben.
I'll wear my brown khaki bottoms. They're very, very.
Are you going to wear your pajamas though?
I'm going to double stuff. But I think what we should work towards is that all of us should work towards heading into the infamous 30 East Drive, because I've never been on a ghost hunt in my life, and I know full well that I would piss whether there was a toilet there or not.
Yes. Do you know what, Rob? I think right. Have you heard of Chillingham Castle?
No. I know where Gillingham is. Is that close?
No, it's Chillingham, like CH.
So that it's got. They give it the name.
It's an incredible castle. It's like you'd have to Google it. I can't do it justice.
It is believed to be the most haunted castle in the UK, and it's on our doorstep.
But it's on the border between like England and Scotland. So if you think about like the history, you've got like the border wars with the Picts and the clans and so it does ghost tours, but it's I mean, like people are like there's podcasts in America that cover it off. Like it's like there's like people all like come over from Australia to come and visit to do their like YouTube channel and stuff. Or like the podcasts and stuff. But I think it'd be a great one to do. I'd love to have you up here and just get you on one of the, like you can do a private event where you can just have like your own party of people.
We should make that happen.
I think it'd be so fun. Like, do you know what? Something might happen.
Yes.
Nothing might happen, but it would be bloody good. It'd be bloody fun night, wouldn't it?
Absolutely amazing.
She'd
definitely be up for it as well, yeah. Because she would say off more than me.
Yes. We'd have to like give you some of the ghost hunting equipment that we've got and just leave you in one of the rooms and or whatever. And we'll just,
So you want to leave me in a room in a castle alone?
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm pretty sure there's loads of fences.
There's a specific room called the torture room, which is literally full of torture equipment.
You seem to be getting so much pleasure about telling me about putting me in the torture room. There's this room. It's called the torture room.
We'll attach it to the rack, the stretching rack.
I honestly, genuinely hope we can like really keep in touch, carry on doing more and more together.
Absolutely,
because
I think
you just it's strange.
It really is. Who would have thought that our first ever collaboration would be with a debunker?
I absolutely love that.
And can we actually also like acknowledge the fact that this has never happened on YouTube before? A debunker on a paranormal channel, having not only coming together but actually having an actual conversation and dare I say actually becoming friends on video.
That's the thing. It's like
I love this.
I feel like we may potentially, and I can't speak for everyone because I know that there's going to be people who will be very much against the thought, but it's like I feel personally like we've built a bridge between us and you.
Yes, which is something we've discussed,
exactly, which is like, like I feel like, you see it from our point of view, we see it from your point of view, and like, and we are better educated on each other's points of view.
Absolutely.
That's what,
and if we can send a message to other paranormal channels and debunking channels about,
we're not enemies.
No, like you're not the enemy, we're not the enemy.
It's okay to have a different opinion and still be good to each other.
Absolutely.
Which I think is the most important lesson in life, because there's too much of block culture.
Absolutely. I mean, like we could
the cancel culture.
Well, that's exactly it. But like we it could we could go on forever where it could be us versus you.
Yeah.
But it doesn't get us anywhere because we would be stuck in our ways, you'd be stuck in your ways, but this way we're better educated, you're better educated, and I feel like nothing but good could
absolutely not.
Yeah, I think it's the strength that we can like have this now. It's a strength that we just it's like another tool to each other.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
I knew there'd be a northern side. She's just called me a tool. I knew there'd be another tool on fucking YouTube.
That's the thing. But like, if there's like, hopefully the other paranormal channels and debunking channels can see this video and see that, like, as long from our point of view, I can't speak for all people. I don't mind, and I think I speak on your behalf. I don't mind if you were to make a video on our videos.
Yeah.
Right? As long as it was respectful,
not,
and
in
your if I made a video on this video and then you made a video on that video of me making a video of this video, and we just come up with video inception.
That's great.
Video perfect. I like it.
Yeah.
That's good. I like it.
Yeah. Oh, imagine like the rabbit hole you could go down.
You'd fall quite deep. It'd be like an iceberg. It'd turn into one of those icebergs.
It'd be like the whole Ryan Gosling Macaulay Culkin t-shirt situation, wouldn't it?
Oh my god, yeah. What a time to be alive.
Oh, I wonder if I could get a Lainey and Ben t-shirt.
And then we'll wear one.
Yeah. I'll just do it casually at a petrol station and people are like, what the fuck are you doing?
Just have our faces
Lainey
like
plastered on. I know them.
One on each boob.
Just Parrple.
Yes, can we?
Can I answer one question?
Par nipple.
Just one question. And so many people.
When are you going to marry me, Ben?
Yeah, Ben. When are you going to marry Lainey, Ben? I will sing your dedicated song at the wedding. I will rewrite it for the wedding. Festus Christopher.
Keep it as is.
Christopher's Fringe. That's my deal. If you marry her, I will sing it at the wedding.
I'm going to hold you to that.
Christopher. Lady in Red, isn't it?
Yeah, Christopher, yeah.
Oh,
so one of the questions I've always been asked is, where did I come up with my name?
Yes, go on. I would love to know that.
If you had to have guess, if you had to have a guess, right?
Right, go on.
What would you say if you had to have a guess? Go on, have a guess each.
Your favourite colour's purple?
Yep.
Okay. And you're a fan of apples?
No, but it comes from a fandom of something.
Ooh. I don't even know where to begin with that.
Right, so I love two things in life. I love pirates and I love the colour purple. And how would a pirate say the colour purple? Purple.
Purple, yeah. The baby's awake.
And that's how immature. That's how immature I am.
I rate it. I absolutely respect it.
But yeah, it's honestly, thank you so much for this. And,
no, also thank you. I mean, like I say, if you hadn't dropped that comment a couple of days ago, this would never have happened.
Yeah.
Like, I would never have come to you, and I'd you wouldn't have come to me, or vice versa, But like, it's meant that we can open up a platform that's not been opened before, which means that hopefully, like I say, other channels will see this and they'll be like, actually, Parrple's not a bad guy, or Lainey and Ben aren't bad people. We've got the wrong end of the stick here. And you know what? Like, I put an open invitation out there for anyone else that would want to come and have a chat. Like, we'd be willing to, because I mean, I can't imagine many other channels wanting to potentially do it. It might not fit within their their video.
I think the thing was why this doesn't fit with the narrative of my channel. In the other side of things, I've recently said, I don't want to recycle the same tired old bullshit. I don't want to be going back and going back. When I just like to move forward, spread a positive message. Basically my videos are just me dicking around. I will still do my visual effects stuff, and I'm still planning on doing the essentially how to fake a haunting series, which is, you know, I do it with visual effects and whatnot. But all in fun and jovially, you know. I've got a video plan where I'm doing a haunting with Mr. Bean, for example.
Well, there you go. That's literally all I need to hear is like.
Would you like a little challenge? Would you like a little insight into something that,
that
nobody knows about?
Go for it.
So, last month, I put out there into the world 2 very, very short pieces of footage.
Did you?
And they have now started to appear on random top 5s. And I've also gone in and called out my own video in the comments, not letting on it was mine, and in said comments being told it was impossible to fake. So over the next videos, you may come across it, and if you do come across it, obviously I'll drop you a message and let you know.
That is actually incredible. I feel like so you've made a video.
I've made 2 videos, very different.
Right.
And one's 30 seconds, one's 52 seconds, that depict a haunting of such, but in two different ways. One is very subtle, and one of them a lot of people have become quite taken back by. I've also left clues in there to show you the fake.
That is actually incredible.
So if you look very, very carefully, you'll actually find all the letters of my YouTube name somewhere in the frame of the longer one.
This is like some Elon Musk shit when he tried to weed out that rat at Tesla.
And it's just kind of, you know, it's just a little bit of fun just to show, you know, what we can do.
Well, that's it. But like, I mean, that's the thing. And I'm not going to sit here and claim that it's impossible to fake paranormal footage. I absolutely believe that is possible. Yeah. Right. And it's been proven time and again that is possible. So I'm not going to sit here and be like, you faking videos is the be all and end all, or because we post videos, it's the be all and end all. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's not how it should be. But I do welcome people to challenge videos like ours. And I'm not going to get butthurt if someone's like, I know how to recreate one of your videos. I'm like, cool, show me. Yeah. You know, like there was someone on TikTok, I can't remember who she was. But she kept trying to recreate our videos, and to her credit, they looked incredibly good. And I actually commented on her videos, and I was like, kudos to you, you managed to recreate it. And it's like, she was like, yeah, but that proves that you're fake. And I'm like, not quite, but you've managed to recreate it, which I will give you props for because it looks really good. But honestly, I respect what you do. I love your videos. Like I've been watching your channel for the past few days. I've loved it. I enjoy the humor that you put into it. I enjoy like everything that you do. So if you're watching this and you got this far, go to Parrple, Parrple.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, right.
You're the only person that's got it right. And I just realised when you sit at this angle, if you had a shave, you look just like Matt Damon.
I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Ask the people in your comments if they see what I see at this thing. Shave off the beard. Right. Shave off the beard.
Shave off my beard.
Do you see Board's identity?
Where's? I'll take it. But honestly, it's been lovely to chat with you, and to see your perspective, and to finally be able to acknowledge the debunking side of YouTube. Which,
and it has actually been really nice for me to actually talk to you, get your opinions on things. You know, and I think it's been really nice and really warm. And
I agree, and I think that's how I always wanted it to be. Like, I was never gonna call you on here and then, like, you know, what I worried was that you'd feel like you were getting trapped here. Like, I was gonna reel you in. Yeah. And
if you can actually go and have a look, if you look on my community posts, you know, I've been open with them, but I didn't actually mention that it was us that were chatting. And I've been quite open, saying, it seems, because, like, of course there were 2 people like, oh, you know, people can make a narrative, and I'm like, it's not like that. I was like, I've been speaking to this person, and my exact words, I'll read the exact words. You can be humbled by the compliments. So my exact words were, that's my channel, isn't it? Yes. Can't find anything. I've got a community tab somewhere. Right. Where did I put it? So in 4 hours' time, I'll be speaking with and appearing on a paranormal channel. I can't believe I'm saying this, but over the last week, I've grown very fond of the person I'm speaking to this evening. The chat will be paranormal, but I'll also be asking some questions. But it won't be in a way to disrespect the channel or the person in any way. And I would like to think that's what we achieved.
I absolutely agree. People are going to be so disappointed when they find out it's not really Haunted that you spoke to, though.
No, I think that they would know, because like there's this kind of, I don't want to say disdain there, but you're two very different entities. Pardon the pun. You're two very different entities, and I've learned a very valuable lesson that you shouldn't put people in the same wheelhouse because of thumbnails and whatnot.
We have too with like the likes of yourself.
If you've got this far, give yourself a big pat on the back and put a little star down in the comments, because you're a star, because you made it to the end, because that was a long ass video. I think it's like an hour and a half.
Fuck, is it?
I haven't even finished editing it yet. That's how lang it is.
Yeah, but you could, if you have made it this far, well done. But also, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you treated it like a bit of a podcast.
Yeah, and I hope you enjoyed the seeing it from someone else's perspective. And if you are from Parrple's channel, welcome.
Hello.
Hopefully you've learned a bit more about us, and that your maybe initial opinions could have been, maybe we backed up your initial opinions. Maybe you still think we're the biggest dickheads on the planet. That's absolutely fine.
Either way, it's still, everything that's still said from both sides of the coin, both opinions is still relevant.
Absolutely.
And no negative,
No negative feelings on towards
from our end.
No, and I think if you want to, you can always go and check out Rob's channel. There will be a link in the description. He does a lot of videos, not just on debunking, but also like lots around the paranormal from his perspective. And it's a channel that I've actually grown to enjoy, because
He's hilarious.
He's hilarious. Well, for one, he's hilarious, but also like he looks at things differently to how I do. Yeah. Which I'm all for.
I love that though. It's what makes the world go round.
Absolutely. So if you have enjoyed, be sure to jump to get that like button, subscribe if you're new, and then tickle my little bell so you get notified whenever we upload. And we will see you in the next video, and we will speak to you later. Peace.